Yeah, I'm Peter Silverbauer and my wife Brenda from Trails in Bike Hotel in Grabouw. I've been in Grabouw since 1984 and had a very successful timber building company. This was our factory where we're standing right now, and in 2016 we sold the business and had this big shed that we didn't know what to do with. And our daughters, who deny it, said, why don't we do a ski lodge for bikes? So that's what we have. Very much a destination for people that have come to do all kinds of adventure. But focusing on the bicycle, we're standing in our bike museum, which is the only one in Africa, one of only 3 in the Southern Hemisphere. And we're at one of the trailheads of the most amazing mountain bike network. We're one of the meccas of mountain biking in South Africa, and the Elgin Valley trails have been known for many, many years. And after the floods in 23, we've been working hard at rebuilding everything, and I think they're better now than they've ever been. We've probably got about 180 kilometers of really nice trail. Conrad Stolz, well known as 7 times Xterra world champion, is busy building trails as we speak. And the network is just continuously growing, and I think to a high and high level. And so that's the one aspect of adventure tourism in this valley. And I'll hand over to Brenda to tell you a little bit more about the other things that one can do when you come here.
Yes, there's an awful lot more than just mountain biking. We're very fortunate to have a wonderful hiking network too. But if you don't want to do the exercise yourself, you can also get on a quad bike and go quad biking. You can go up to the canopy tourism. That's an amazing, exciting thing to do. So the Cape Canopy tours. There's also the Elgin Dam quite near us, where there's a lot of rowing happening. You can also do some open water swimming or canoeing. And so there's an awful lot to do in this area.
Yeah, and on the adventure side, there are also many other things like the 4x4 routes from the country club. We're busy building a new information centre there, which will be opening at the end of the year. And it also tells you where one can do what, the quad bike trails. There are also motorbike trails, believe it or not. We have a whole section that's dedicated to people doing motocross, and I think it's one of the few places that is available in the Western Cape. And then one of the things that gets people excited, families, we fixed the old railway bridge between us and the railway market, and the steam engine comes through once a week and quite a lot more often during the season. And we race the steam engine from Oudtshoorn, which is next door, down to the railway market, and it's a lot of fun. Probably travels about 35 k's an hour, so reasonable speed, and just enough to be really exciting. And then there are all the wine farms. Almenkerk has got their own little adventure set up. I think you've done that. You could maybe say a little bit about that.
Wonderful hike, either a 5 or a 7 kilometer hike around the farm, and the activities to do on the way around, which is great fun, especially for families. It's not for the faint-hearted because there is quite a bit of up and down, but it's worth it for these, there's a water cannon where you sit and pedal and then spray someone. It's great fun. So that's a fun thing to do. And then Old MacDaddy has also put up a cycling and hiking trail, and next door, South Hill Vineyards also a shortish hiking trail and for biking. So there's lots and lots to do.
Yeah, no, our vision for the valley is to eventually connect up all the farms with the most amazing cycling trail that won't just be for mountain bikes but for gravel bikes too. But that's something for the future. But we definitely it's in the planning stage. And at the moment we ride across Oak Valley and special permission into Paul Kluwer. They've just opened a pizza place, so there's wine tasting and great restaurants on both farms. And so there's always something that we combine. When we do our Saturday morning rides, we do a lovely loop that ends up at the railway market for a smoothie or something stronger. But usually after a couple of beers, it's not so great getting back on your bicycle. And so there's always something exciting going on in this valley, and lots of adventures. The country club just down the road, they've got so many events happening, and we try and tie in with them. The whole valley benefits every time there's a big event here. Wines to Wales is probably one of the best known, and that happens annually in end of October, early November. And then this year the Epic's coming through. So yeah, there's always something exciting going on. And maybe talking about events, there are so many that do happen. And if I can just think very quickly about the season ahead, we've got the Woolworths Tri that's coming up at the end of the year. And then we've got that's at Port Clover. And then we've got the Xterra early next year. There's also regattas on the lake at Eikenhof. The Xterra is world famous, and this is one of the biggest Xterras in South Africa. It's the biggest one in South Africa. It's one of the biggest in the world. And Conrad Stolz has taken over the marketing of that. And as I mentioned earlier, 7 times Xterra world champ. So giving back. And then we've got the Grabouw that happens mid-year. Before that, we've got the Weekend Warrior, which is mountain biking, as much mountain biking as you can fit into a weekend. At Oak Valley, there's Oak Valley Extreme, which is a 24-hour, both cycling and running, either one of the two, you can't do both. Then there's a women's running race in August. And then we come back round to the Bikes to Blossoms, which that was the Apple Blossom race. We changed the name because sometimes we don't get the timing right, but there always blossoms out. And that's probably the longest running mountain bike race in South Africa. Started in the early 1990s. Then we come back round to Wines to Wales again. And maybe if you could mention some of the other things that happen.
Then at the same time of the year, there was also the Outdoor Expo, which was great. I mean, I love camping, so that was really great to have this last weekend. It was the same time as Open Gardens. The end of October, beginning of November is always Open Gardens in this area, which is always a wonderful time to visit. And then through the summer, Paul Clover also have the amphitheatre. They have a summer concert program. And it's really the most beautiful place to come and listen to music. It's really an intimate but outdoor experience. It's really, really special. So there's a lot to see and do.